one of the guys in the band writes all the charts, so I get whatever charts are available, and then they'll send me the other charts as they're available. They comment on it. How many of you are familiar with Fourscore? Nobody's familiar with Fourscore?
Doesn't that mean 80 years?
Oh boy, that was a killer. So I'll get Opry charts
Oh.
that come in this format, okay? I can get out my Apple Pencil and annotate them however I want. I make notes to myself about like where the different sections are, different rhythm things, important things that I need to be aware of. Sometimes, like something like this is super easy. What was this? Yeah, that was just acoustic. I'll make notes. Acoustic guitar, capo 2, play D, which tells me this is probably E, yeah. So just reminders so that I don't mess up. Everybody goes through
You
this
see this
process.
before, like while you're on stage playing?
Oh yeah, no, there's a holder for the iPad. Everybody has one. Everything's done electronically. Everybody gets the same chart and everybody annotates them. You see all the red marks and stuff. Everybody annotates them in their own style, however they like to see. Here's Go Rest High on That Mountain, Fitzgill. There's not much to it, it's super simple, and he usually does it by himself anyway. Once in a while, he'll turn around and say, you know, if this comes to the solo, he'll say, somebody take it. And we like look around real quick. Who was this? This is some band named Restless Road. Russ Taff, former Italian gospel singer. So I'm just making notes everywhere, and and I'm looking at this while I'm listening to their audio files that they sent. Let me see if I can find one that's like crazy annotated.
Sorry, I'm just so like fascinated with the fact that you live here. That's so cool. I want to play there one day. So bad.
Do y'all know who Brenly Brown is? Or do you know who Callum Kerr is? These are kind of newer people that we're on. May Estes, I don't think you know May Estes.
I've actually never heard of it.
Let's see, no, that's not it. But anyway, I'll get, like here you can see where, oh, I'll get back over here. Dang it. No. Here you can see where, like I've written out rhythms and numbers above the rhythms to tell me there's like a melody that I have to play there, so I just write it out so that it's a reminder. But I practice all this stuff too. I try not to read it, okay? It's better to internalize it all. So, I mean, like, to do, I think this particular night, we had, out of 25 songs, the band played on 23 of them. So I had to like memorize 23 songs. And so you just look for the most important parts and the hardest parts and try to memorize those, and you could kind of read the easy stuff. And to the point I made earlier about standing up or sitting down, I stand up when I practice. Because I know at the Opry, I might be on a stool, but I'll still be up high, or I'll be standing up. So I do it the way, I rehearse the way it's gonna be done. Sometimes the artist will send, for those of you who are audio production people, artists will send stems of their songs. So we'll have we have 3 guitar players in the band, 2 guitar players and 2 electric players, 1 acoustic player. And we'll open up the stems and there'll be like 12 electric guitar players. Hell, why did you bother to send this? But from that, we'll just kind of say, okay, let's take the 3rd and 4th guitar parts and we can make one part out of that. And there's 3 tracks of power chords. We don't need 3 tracks of power chords. One's fine, and stuff like that. And you just kind of make the best you can out of what you have. Okay, hope that helps. And then you get there, and sometimes you'll get a rehearsal with an artist if there's somebody you haven't worked with before. Sometimes you'll get a sound check, and sometimes the above.
Really?
What?
Have you worked with Garth Brooks?
I have sung with Garth once.
Really?
On a Christmas song that he did about 10 or 12 years ago.
You say that so casually.
It was a choir. It was a
Oh,
choir
wow.
of people. It was like
Yeah.
40 people.
Not that I like Garth Brooks. Just think of country people I
Who's
know.
the
Garth
like-
Brooks came
Who
to.
likes Garth Brooks?
like most
Famous person you've
Garth Brooks.
Be about it. God, I don't know. One of my favorites is Vince, though. He's just so fun. He's just so classy and so regular. But there's a lot. I mean, some of them are incredibly famous songwriters like Don Schlitz.
There's
I've never. Well, Jason would bring his own band. So some people bring their band and some people just
didn't
don't.
know that was an option.
It is. Yeah.
What about Joni Mitchell?
My favorite of all time.
Really?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite Joni song?
Joni song?
Like what? Like a Joni Mitchell song? Like your favorite?
Yeah. Y'all are trying to keep me from giving you more hard stuff.
Sorry, no, I was just curious and then
I was wondering if you're going to pick up on it.
Favorite Joni Mitchell song? The first thing that's popping into my head is The Wolf That Lives in Lindsay. It's an awesome song. But also just about anything on his era.
Yeah. It's a great.
It came out at a time in my life in a place where I was living and a state I was in that was just the timing couldn't have been better for me. It was just unbelievable. So.
How about Mark Knopfler?
Yeah, he's great. I like Money for Nothing would be my favorite of his.
Did you follow the stuff he did with Chet X?
Not really. You can't follow everything.
It was good.
Okay, now where was I going to get to?
Bar chords.
Bar chords.
Yeah, there we go. No wonder you were trying to distract me.
Or just like tell us about every gig you've ever done.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Hi, Adrian.
Tell me again about that time in Stuttgart, Arkansas, at Warehouse Fiddle-Dee-Dee the, when you were playing with that 12-piece R&B band and the bikers parked their bikes inside the club. Tell us about that.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
They still do that.
Damn right. Okay, video cameras at the ready, or is there going to be one and your old group text? How do you want to do this?
Figure it out.
Yeah, good to have Sebastian close. So, okay, bar chords. We all know about half steps and whole steps, I hope.
What?
Okay, half steps and whole steps. On the white keys on the piano, there's always a half step between the 2 pairs of notes.
White and black.
White keys only.
B and C.
B and C and E and F. Okay. So the guitar is like 12 pianos. I mean, six pianos. Here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. Okay. 12 notes. That's the octave. And it starts over. Okay. But it's, there's duplication and there's a bunch of squirreliness about the guitar, but we'll overlook that. But basically, if I've got a chord, let's say I'm playing an A minor chord. I've got a song that I've written, and I need a female vocal, and Emmy's gonna come sing it. And she gets to the studio, and she's like, yeah, it's a great song, I love to sing it, but I can't sing it in A minor. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? What key do you like? I can sing it in C minor. Okay, well, I'll just move. Or she says, I can sing it in B flat minor. I say, great, well, I'll just move my A minor chord from here to here. Just move it up one fret. Perfect. We're good. No, we're not, because I neglected to move this. I neglected to move the terminating point of the strings. If I move up one fret, I have to chase this with me. So I'm going to re-finger my A minor in order to free up my first finger. And then as I move up, I'm going to follow it. Now I have B flat minor, or C minor, or D flat minor, or whatever it is she wants. In the case of E minor, okay, she needs it in F sharp minor. Well, if this is E, then if I move up one fret and follow here, remember, I've got to account for the fact that there's no information here, finger-wise, just open strings. So I'll move this chord up here with I'll change the fingering, and I'll put my first finger here. Notice I've maintained this empty space, right? Now I have F minor. Now I have F sharp minor. Now I have G minor. Now I have A flat minor. So with bar chords, I can chase around the chords that somebody might need for a song. Now, in a perfect world, I can use one of these little beauties, because on the guitar, we love the sound of open strings, okay? We know what this is, right? This is a capo. The capo is amazingly designed, just like our hand, okay? If I want to play a bar chord, I want to take advantage of this muscle right here and its relationship to my first and second finger, okay? Primarily your first finger, but not to the extent that it has to be right behind your first finger, as you will see. But check out what we're looking at here. Thumb, first finger, and you see what their relationship is, right? Well, see any similarities? The capo was designed to act like your hand, okay? Thumb over here, long finger over here. Okay, so that's basically what you're doing with your hand. Now watch. If I'm going to move, say A minor, and I need a B minor chord, I'll move it from A minor to A sharp or B flat minor. And I'll move it on up another half step, and I've got B minor. Okay, but I got to account for this, so I'll A minor, B flat, B minor. First finger barring the second fret. Now, watch my left hand. Tell me what you notice. What'd you notice? My thumb disappears and my wrist comes down like that, which serves a few purposes. It gets my thumb in this position, right behind my first and second finger there. And in dropping my wrist, I get my fingers out in front so I can squeeze together, okay? There's no way you're gonna play a bar chord like this. Okay, trying to pull the strings, it's not gonna happen. Drop your wrist, let it dangle from your thumb in the middle of the neck. Put your fingers in place, press down. It takes care of itself. You've gotta remember to let your wrist just fall. Let it come down. And see where my knuckles are? Out in front of the fingerboard. But it works great. Now, So about the first finger, well, ideally your first finger would be parallel to the fret that it's addressing, but it's not a perfect world, okay? Just like with the individual fingers, as long as I keep from getting my finger right on the fret, I'll be okay. Just behind the fret. As straight as possible, but it doesn't have to be parallel. I don't want this. This is not going to help you. This is not going to help you. Okay? Neither of these extremes are going to help you. It's got to be more or less parallel to the fret you're addressing. Okay? And super important is this. Give me just a second here. And I'll show you something really important. Okay, I want you to look at my first finger. What do you see?
The lines,
Where are the lines?
where the strings would be,
Where, yeah, but where on my finger do the lines occur?
on the side.
Kind of on the edge, okay? This part is kind of fleshy. The actual underside, the flat part of your finger, kind of fleshy, okay? And frankly, it's kind of hard to get, you know, if the rule was you have to have your finger, you know, perfectly flat down, and you know, that might be easy for some people and hard for others. But watch me. For B minor, for instance, look at my finger, Emmy. You can see that I've got it rolled out to the edge a little bit, right? I'm not like this, I'm like this. For F sharp minor, I'm rolled over to the edge a little bit. Why is that? Why would I do that? What?
Resonance.
Why would there be more resonance?
This part is more solid, so you can press down harder because it's like it's right on bone.
It's right on bone. Bone is hard. It's okay. So I can maybe get away with slightly less effort if I can get the hardest part of my finger over there on it. So it's not a dramatic sideways twist any more than it's dramatically flat. It's just enough to feel it up against the bone. Feel the strings on the bone. Helps a lot. Last but not least, if we encounter a chord like on F sharp minor, I'm playing all the strings, no problem. On B minor, I've got an X on the bottom string. I don't want to play the bottom string. But all my fingers are engaged. How am I going to mute that bottom string? What do I do?
Just touch it with
I'm just going to let that first finger creep up enough. Eleanor, you got your first finger all the way over. I'm just going to let it creep up enough to touch the string. For B minor, I'm just touching it. I'm not pressing down on it at all. I'm just, okay. And it's the same situation where when you're strumming it, the disappears. Okay? I recommend you do the same thing with bar chords that some of you have done with some of your other chords. Listen up, make the chord. Make sure everything rings. Pick up your fingers, put them all back down together. Make sure everything is good. Pick up your fingers together, put them all back down together. Okay, don't start with the habit of this because you don't have time to do one finger at a time. Put them down, pick them up, put them down. F sharp minor, put them all down, pick them up. Could I always do that? No, I was not born doing this. I just have to rinse and repeat a lot because you don't have time. You gotta get there. And we've got a song coming up that will rely on the B minor and the F sharp minor. Heads up, look at the display, please. As you scroll down, everybody look at the display, please. As you scroll down the content page, you'll see bar chords.
That's how you spell that?
The ones that are important to us are B minor and F sharp minor, the two in the top and the middle. Start playing them every day now, because you're a couple of songs away from a song that will live or die by your bar chords. There's a young cowboy who lives on the range. F sharp minor, B minor, G don't play. F sharp minor again, B minor again, F sharp minor again. I mean, if you don't have your bar chords ready, okay.
Thanks
So
for that.
start familiarizing yourself and working on your strength now every day. A few minutes a day, just do it with the pointers that I gave you in mind, okay? So,
I feel like every time I've tried bar chords in the past, even if I'm like placing everything right, my hand will just like cramp up, and I don't know if that's a practice thing or if it's like a form.
show me what you did.
So like, if I'm doing this, feels like everything just hurts, and like I'm still getting buzzing strings.
Well, the good news is we're not gonna play F minor, so move up to F sharp minor.
Okay.
Did that help a little bit? It should help a little because you're that much farther away from the nut. When you're on the first fret, you're pushing against the nut, and it's impossible to win. But once you get to the second fret, it starts to help.
And the higher you,
Until you get so high that you're pushing against the saddle. You know? Also, let me see your guitar. No, just do anything to keep me throwing more stuff at
I think you straightened it last.
you. Yeah. Yeah, you could use a lighter gauge of string on
Oh,
there,
okay, gotcha.
which would make your strings easier to push down in general. These strings are pretty dead, so they don't have much give to them, so they're not gonna be very cooperative. Get yourself a set of 12 to 53
Okay.
acoustic guitar strings. Remember that, 12 to 53. And you'll, first of all, they'll be so much lighter, you'll be going, wow, this is easy. Why work hard? You know, it's like,
I've heard people like I don't know what you think of this, but I've heard people say that when you do bar chords, it helps if you can like kind of bend the guitar. What do you think of that?
bend the guitar?
Yeah, or the neck, like kind of pull it toward, or not bend it. I'm sorry, just pull it in towards yourself. Keep your arm here,
Wow,
kind of pushing.
I don't like that.
You don't like that.
No, let me see if I can demonstrate why. In other words, keep the body still and pull the neck.
So yeah, like
Okay,
that.
hang on, let me try something. Did you hear what just happened?
Yeah, it bends. So you get.
You bend the neck, you bend the
Broad
guitar,
over, yeah.
and you stretch the strings just a little bit. Suddenly you're out of tune.
Yeah.
No, that's nonsense.
Okay. Don't do
That's
that.
that's better than bullshit category.
Okay, sounds good.
Did I just say
Why I
that out
asked
loud?
We're using your second finger to like push back.
It's okay to use your let's say you're playing F sharp minor and you want to use your second finger to add to your first finger, okay? To help you hold the strings down. That's fine, but just remember it's not always an option. If you go from there to C sharp minor, you don't have an extra finger. So you might as well get in a routine of strengthening your first finger. Okay? It's not like it's wrong or you'll be ridiculed in public or whatever. Okay, that's the wrap on bar chords. Start doing them every day. You're gonna need them. Okay, and just when you thought you were gonna be done. Here's our next song.
with John Hyatt?
So,
You play with John Hyatt?
John Hyatt, I don't think I have.
Isn't this his own? Any record?
It might be, I don't know.
One, two, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Sorry, let's slow this back down. There we go.
1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Philip, what feel is that?
Straight.
Straight feel. Lots of interesting details in this song. We're into, we've done our 12-bar blues, and then Keaton Highway was an 8-bar blues, all of which we're gonna continue to work on. But now we're into a legitimate kind of song form, okay? We have an intro, we have a verse, we have a chorus. We repeat back to the verse and the chorus. Then we have a little turnaround taking us into the bridge. And then we have a fade, or just kind of an outro thing. So this is a full-on song. So there's a few details to consider. Do we know what this thing right here is?
The repeat.
Do we know what it means? Does everybody know what this means? In case you don't, yeah, this is a repeat song. Okay, why does it look so odd with this fat line and the skinny line and the curved line and the two dots? It looks like that so you can't miss it. It looks like that to call attention to itself on the page so you don't forget to do it. Because if you play the verse and the chorus and keep going, you're going to be mighty lonesome when everybody else goes back and plays the verse again. Okay? So, this is what we call a southbound repeat sign. This is a northbound repeat sign. What that means is you're going to play your intro, you'll play your verse, you'll play your chorus, and when you get to this guy, you head north and go back here to the southbound repeat sign, which says this is where you start going south again, as in down the page. Okay? Up the page and back down the page. In this song, you play the intro, verse, chorus, then you repeat the verse and chorus, and then you move on. In some songs, you might play 3 verses and 3 choruses, and it will say over in the margin, play 3 times, or what there will be specific instructions. In this case, intro, verse, chorus again, a little turnaround, and into the bridge. And then you're into the outro. Of particular interest in the verse, we're in 4/4 time, right? Until we're not, which is right here in the verse. Because of the phrasing of the lyrics, there's a 2/4 bar, a bar with only 2 beats in it here. And then you're back to 4/4 time over here. And it does the same thing here, a 2/4 bar, and then back to 4/4 time on the year. Everyone see that? Does that make sense?
No. I see it, but I don't understand the two.
What he said.
compared to 4/4.
Okay, watch this. You're about to. Well, I'll do this. Here is a version you can play along with that I actually counted out.
1, 2,
This is a little
1
slow.
and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Listen up, Will.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
It's a place where the lyrics called for more music than was already there. And who knows, maybe originally they had all bars of 4/4. And somebody said, we don't need these extra beats. It would be cool if we took those out and just let the lyrics sound more natural. We'll just, 2 beats and back to 4/4. They said, let's try it. And they tried it and they thought, that is so cool. Okay? It's this thing of sometimes you massage the music to work better with the lyrics. Sometimes you massage the lyrics to work better with the music. This is kind of a case of the former, okay? But it works great. You don't really even notice it. It feels so natural. And there's something that's different, but it doesn't strike you as something wrong, right? So, other things about this song that are different from other songs we've done, aside from the obvious roadmap issues, a couple of new chords. G7 comes into the mix. Gotta have a G7. And D major, just a plain old D chord. Some of you have already played a plain old D chord a lot. That's good. But to some of you, it'll be new. The G7 and the D7. So, start playing it. It's just this, straight feel, okay? Not small. Same band, same measly band. Eric Clapton, B.B. King, and their bass player and drummer. I don't know. Sorry, I couldn't get anybody good. But
John Hyatt.
you paid your money and you get that? What? So that's a lot. But that will get us through the next few weeks, at the end of which we'll be going straight into the song which calls for bar chords. So don't play. Make the bar chords happen. And if you're having, if you're practicing your bar chords and your hand starts to hurt or stop. Come back tomorrow. You wouldn't go to the gym and say, yeah, I think I'm gonna start going to the gym. Put 100 pounds on each side. No. You start small. So same with bar chords. If you're wholly unfamiliar with them and it seems awkward, 2 minutes a day. By the weekend, maybe 5 minutes a day. Next week, 8, 10 minutes a day. But if anything ever hurts, stop doing it. Okay? Give it a rest. When you're practicing things that are kind of physically strenuous, make sure you're hydrated. Muscles need fluid. They gotta have it. Okay? They'll cooperate with you much more, to say nothing of your brain. Okay? Rest, hydration, food. It's not just what your mom said. It's real. Okay? All right, so y'all have been doing really well, so I'm just throwing it at you. This will mean that I'll have to come up with even more stuff to do later in the semester. It's kind of tantalizing to me in a sick kind of